In this video, I'm going to be explaining how I converted an old, retired electric kiln into a functional gas kiln. This is actually part 2, where in the last video I basically assembled this kiln. I put cinder blocks down and I moved the kiln. I took out all the electronics. I cemented and made a whole chimney for it. So go check that video out. It shows how I made the entire kiln. But in this video, I'll be talking about how I fired. So first I start with a preheat to dry out all the pots in there, and it was my first firing inside this kiln. It was super exciting, and I plan to do a glaze firing as well. I'm sorry for a bunch of cuts and stuff. This was so many hours of time put into this project. I hope it's helpful to you. I was inspired by Simon Leach and his process, and he has many videos on this topic, so you could definitely go check him out. I'll put them in the description. But yeah, this project's been so much fun. It's been taking me a while, so I hope you enjoy and I hope you learn something.
Alright, so this is the entire kiln packed. So the one concern I had was I kiln washed 2 shelves. And this shelf over here is, it's circle and it kind of fits to the shape of the kiln a little bit too closely. So what I mean by that is I thought I would have more room from right here to right here. With the distance from here, there's only like an inch or so from here, and then 2 inches or so from the wall. But I just was concerned that the airflow from the bottom shelf, it wouldn't go up to the top of the kiln. I was concerned that the air would just stop at the first shelf, at the bottom of this shelf, I mean, and go into the chimney, which could be an issue in the future. But I'm just not going to worry about it this firing. I'm definitely going to do that next firing, and I'll use this shelf next firing. But what I have going on right now. So these are the cone packs that I made. So these smaller cones are actually meant for definitely meant for a kiln sitter, which is our electric kilns, our older electric kilns. But I didn't have any other cones, so I have to buy those, like I said. And then that's the bigger one. And then I poke some holes in them so they're fully dry when I come back in the morning and I start firing. I'll do a preheat on this whole thing to make sure everything's super dry. Everything's inside this kiln that's been inside this kiln, I mean, has been drying out for like months. And there's no way that it's not totally bone dry by now. But I'm gonna do a long preheat too. But it's not jam packed, and the reason is because it's my first firing. I don't want to fire this thing and, it go completely wrong, and then I lose all the pottery in it. So I'd rather lose these pots than jam pack it and then lose all of it. So this is the setup right now, and that's the propane tank. I gotta get a converter for the propane tank, but that's enough yapping for this video. I'll see you when I'm firing, I think. All right, I changed my mind again. So I'm rearranging the kiln again, and I'm going to use this kiln shelf. So I know I just talked about how, there's not a lot of airflow in here on the deflector bricks for the heat to come up, and, there's not much room from the chimney. I think it'll be fine. I talked to my teacher about it, and, she explained that the heat will also go down inside the sides, and I think it's going to be fine. My concern, like I said, was that the heat would touch the bottom of this kiln shelf right here, and it would just go straight across under the kiln shelf and back down into the chimney. I think it'll be fine though, because heat naturally wants to rise inside the kiln, and so it's going to go back down once it comes up here. It's going to come up. I think it'll be fine. So this is the setup I have now. I bought a cinder block, and I'm going to light the torch. I don't want to get above 200 degrees because it will it's just a preheat. It's just going to damage all the pieces if I get above boiling temperature. So I just want to dry out the kiln for half an hour. Now I'm going to turn on the propane. I just want to barely a flame, really. I don't want to rush this at all. My main concern with the kiln is that there's the chimney. Oh, I can feel heat now. Yeah. My main concern is that the chimney hole is not big enough. That's my main concern. Also, my concern is like if it's coming out the sides, if it's leaking out the edges of the kiln. I don't know. Obviously, I have to learn that. It's my first firing, so I don't know. Pyrometer reads right now 134, and I don't know how much I believe it, but it's just because I think it would be a little bit hotter right now because flame's going pretty good. It's not pretty good actually. It's like about to turn off. I'm not gonna lie because I'm scared of ramping it up too fast. I just don't want any of the pots blowing up or getting cracking or anything like that. But something exciting, since it's pitch black out here, if I turn off the flashlight and I take out this peephole, look at that. It's kind of cool. That's kind of cool. So there's the cone packs, and that's a big cone right there. And then right behind it, there's 3 little tiny cones. It's cone 04, cone 05, cone 06, the cone packs that I made in there. I'm keeping it under 200 degrees because boiling point is 212. And if it gets to boiling point and it's not ready to boil or, ready to ramp up, then the pots have a chance of cracking, like I said. The reason I say I don't believe the pyrometer, to further explain that, when I brought it out here, it's definitely not 70 out here. I'm, a little chilly, and it was reading 70. It's probably just because it was in the house and it took a little bit to get accustomed to it, to the temperature outdoors. But I think I'm going pretty good right now. This is how it looks after the preheat. Just opening it up this morning. It's nice and cool. It's cloudy out. All right, first firing. One concern that I just noticed, there's a hole in the chimney. I hope it doesn't expand. You can barely see it through the second peak hole. I don't even think it would show up on camera, but you can barely see that there's light through the chimney here. And I don't like that. Also, if you look down into the chimney, you can't even see that on camera. There's like cement peeling off, coming away from the soft brick, which is concerning. I don't know, I'll keep it updated and keep taking videos of it. But yeah, this is the first firing. First real firing. I'm sitting at 146. I'm climbing to 200, staying there till 11 o'clock, and then I'm ramping up to, because that's my preheat, then I'm gonna start ramping up gradually. And I have my clipboard and graph here. Let's go. All right, I am gonna give a little update here. So here's the temp we're at, 708. So I can't visibly see any flame going into the kiln just because it's daylight out, so I can't see the blue flame, which I thought was something to worry about. I think I'm fine. You can see the flame in there slightly. I don't know if the camera's picking that up. And it's going pretty well. We did slow down at around 500 degrees, which is natural, I think, because that's the point at where I did some research. I looked it up. I guess it's the point of where most things in the kiln are burning off, and it's going to slow down a little bit. But it seems like we're good right now. I'm just turning up the nozzle gradually. Keep climbing. Yeah, we'll see what happens, I guess. Yeah. So we're at 900 degrees, pretty much. Pretty close. 896. Flame's going all right. So it doesn't look like there's actually even a flame. But you look in, it's definitely a flame. It's blue. It's a blue flame. Also, I set up that stake. It's a little crooked, but I'm gonna put the tank there, and then I'm gonna buy an extender to go over to here. So then it's away from the shed. But anyways, yeah, that's where we're at. All right, running into some major issues. So I'm stuck around 1200. It was just at 1206, and the reason is because I'm pressing the handle on the trigger on the burner. I think the problem is that the burner is not, it doesn't have enough energy to push out the heat that I need until I use the burst mode. So on that's normal mode. I think that's burst mode. So I think I have to buy a new propane burner. So that's kind of sucky. And then also I'm trying to play around with the dampener and like the chimney, trying to put on I guess I'm calling this a flue, like the chimney flue or the chimney dampener. Anyways, and then also last resort too, stuffed insulation around the sides of the kiln because I saw some heat was coming out. I don't know what I'll do, but I will see. All right, I'm being completely transparent. This is really pissing me off now. So we had to jerry-rig this setup because the torch cannot output enough from this feature, from the knob, and you have to hit the lever. And I'm not gonna sit here, I don't want to sit here, pressing it more and more and more. So I'm just gonna keep it like this, and we'll tighten it as we go. But the kiln is glowing. It's just gonna be another 2 hours till I'm done. Now we're at 1302. We need to get to 18, probably 18, 80 or 1850, somewhere around there. Cone 0605. I'm probably gonna stop around cone 06, a little lower. So got some glow going, and here's the cones, if you can see there. All right, last jerry rig. So we put the handle all the way down, and then we turn the knob. So then hopefully the flame stays more consistent, and I can actually control it without standing here with my hand on the torch. All right, a little bit of an update. We are at 1472, so we got to get to 1828, which is cone 06. I have about another hour and a half out here. I'm going to climb about 250 to 300 in an hour and a half. That'll get me to around 800. I'm going to hold at 1828, pretty much exact, try to get to that exact temperature for about 20 minutes, 15 to 20 minutes. Then I'm going to seal up the insulation on the top of the chimney here. I'm going to put a bundle of insulation like I did last night on the burner port there. I'm just going to keep the thermocouple in, and like I said, I stuffed around the edge of the chimney, or around the edge of the kiln, and that should be all set. It's cold out here right now. I wish I started earlier. Oh, you can even see, oh yeah, you can see, I think the kiln expanded a little bit because this insulation was very tightly put in, and now I see a gap in there. Maybe I'll go back with a screwdriver and try to stuff it in a little bit more. Oh yeah, you can see. Yeah, so maybe I need to do some modifications on the lid, add some insulation around the edge. Anyways, let's take this out. I shouldn't be doing this with no gloves. Wow, I don't know if you can see what I can see, but that is cool. It's glowing in there. You can see the cones just barely there. All right, it got really dark out really fast. Fire's still going. It's freezing cold out here. I think that's it's kind of affecting the propane tank, because I don't know if you can hear this. It's like slightly rattling. It's just concerning. It's really cold to the touch, but I don't think it's an issue right now. We are at 1620, basically, 1619 or so. And we're climbing still. So I think probably around another hour and a half. I'll climb another, once we get to 1700, once we get to 1700, it'll be like 8 o'clock, because it's 7:30 right now. So once it's 8 o'clock, then I'll probably go another hour and a half to climb the extra 128 degrees to get to 1828. If that made any sense, or matters at all. So look at that. It's getting brighter. The cones are not melting yet, which is a little weird. I think it's fine. The one on the right, I think I made the cone pack backwards because I did 06, 05, 04. I don't know if you can see the cone packs in there. You probably can on the camera, but they're not, I mean, maybe one's slightly leaning, but they're also smaller cone packs that are not meant for this. So I think I'm just mainly relying on cone 05. But I'm at 1656. All right, here's the firing chart. 1811, 1812. It's hovering around cone 06 is 1828. So a few more degrees to go, and then it's pretty much done. All right, good news and bad news, real quick, because I gotta run. 1885, got the temp. Cone 5, I believe. But it's raining out. I gotta go up at 10. And you can hear the tingles of the kiln. But it's all up to temp, so I'm gonna close it up now. All right, I just freshly opened this kiln. Pots are looking bisqued. They look good. This is definitely a bisque fire. They are, I put some water on them. Pretty absorbent. It doesn't look super underfired. I'm not sure what to look for when I'm looking for underfired. I'm also looking for cracks, and I don't see anything. So luckily, I don't think the cool down, like the rapid cool down, I don't think anything, I don't think it affected the pots very much. What I mean by rapid cool down is, like, when I looked at the thermocouple right before I took it out of the kiln, it had already dropped 100 degrees, and I think that was just due to me turning off the propane before I sealed up the chimney. And it lost a lot of heat, but it looks good right now. And well, let's look at the cones too. I didn't reach complete cone 05, and I didn't hold at 005. I mean cone 05. I hit cone 06. You can see a bent there. You can see a bent. You know, I hit cone 06, got to 1878. Cone 05 is 1888. And I held around 1850 at least for like 20 minutes. So that's why the cone 05 is not completely bent over, like, you know, falling over. In the future, I'm gonna invest in some better cones, like these bigger cones. I only have the smaller cones right now, so I should really buy more cone packs. I've relied heavily on the thermocouple and then just the feel of the kiln. Like when I opened these spy holes, you know, I just wanted to just try out a firing, so I didn't have it exactly, you know, everything I needed. I definitely needed some more cones, and then the chimney is looking actually pretty good. It changed to like this orange color, which I didn't expect. You can see it's a little more orange than it was before. It's not gray at all. And then this area here is very white for some reason. So interesting. But yeah, it's holding up great. I'm not complaining. And the only thing I have a weird concern is these parts, they keep like falling off the kiln, like this soft brick. I think it's pulling the cement off the kiln with the soft brick. So I might have to go back in and touch up some spots. Also, there's a hole in the chimney right here, which I can see right now. I don't know if you can see that. It's a slight hole, and you could see it clearly when you look through the peephole from here. You could see it from right there. So anyways, that's enough yap. Kiln firing went great. I had a lot of fun with this, and I'm going to prepare for the glaze firing. So that'll be next. One last thing. This is the bottom of the kiln. It's looking pretty good.